Hello everyone, it's Samantha back here with another cute little video. Hope everyone is okay. And wow, what a few weeks we've both had, us in the UK and in the US. Obviously I keep my channel completely politics free, but wow guys, okay. What a stressful few weeks it's been. So I don't know about you, but a really good way of de-stressing and keeping your mind off all sorts of other things that are going on in the world is to just lose yourself in a bit of mindful making, and that's exactly what I've been doing this week. Little bit stressful here at home, few things going on, so this week I've just been faffing around with some wire again, amongst some other things. So today I thought we'd have a look at these cute links. They're really simple to make, but by gum they really are very versatile, and you can use them for all sorts of things, including bracelets like this one. I think it would be really nice for a gentleman actually, this one, wouldn't it? And I've attached some beads to one side of these ones in silver, just because I thought it looked a little bit more unusual. Or you can pop them just on their own as links in necklaces and things like that. And I'll be showing you how to attach beads on either side of it, of the link, to make these lovely beaded links. How cute are those? Or indeed you can just make little dangles like so, for earrings, or to dangle off pendants, you know, that kind of thing. Really versatile. Okay, so I'm going to take you through how to make them, but we will have a look at the materials that we need first. All right, so you can make these in any wire that you like, but my suggestion is that you use 16 gauge, which is, for us who use metric, it's 1.25 millimeters. Okay, so let's move these out of the way for now. There we go, so that they're not too much in the way. So what do we need? We need some wire, of course. So 1.25, I'm using soft bare copper here for these guys, because if you've been with me for long enough, you know that I like bare copper. So that is 16 gauge. So I'll just pop that just out of the way because it's a big old spool. You're also going to need to make the jump rings, just 1 millimeter wire, that's 18 gauge, but you should have some jump rings in your stash, no doubt. And what else will you need? You're going to need some 6-step bell making pliers. Mine are 2 to 9 increment pliers. Okay, you're going to need some flush cutters for obvious reasons. You're going to need some chain nose pliers. Come on, my brain isn't working today. Chain nose pliers. You're also going to need some, well, you might not need, but I tend to use these guys, because when you are straightening things out a little bit, it's quite often better to have a pair of flat nose pliers. So a pair of flat nose if you have them. You'll need a ruler just to measure out your lengths. And I'm thinking, is there anything else that we're going to need? Let's have a think. No, I think that's it. Really simple to make. But you will need some beads, okay, of course. So I'm going to be using these little cream 5.0 Preciosa seed beads to make these little units here. And they come in these little, I put them in these cute little files. And to make this guy here, these are Matubo beads, which I believe are 6.0s, and they fit quite nicely. All right, on there. And I'm going to introduce you to my lovely friends at ARTDOT now, who have asked me to have a look at a new product for them. So I'm going to show you that now. And I am very lucky to keep all my beads and things like that in this amazing little chest of drawers here, actually. And at this point, I'm going to introduce you to the ARTDOT chest from my lovely friends over at ARTDOT. They sent me this beautiful thing here to try out, and as you know, I don't endorse anything on my channel unless I really love it, and I love these guys. I was lucky enough for them to send me their case with these little files in. Can you remember that video where I showed you all of these guys here? But they asked me if I wanted to have a look at this chest. So the beads that we're using today I've been keeping some of these in here, these guys here. And I've also started to use these little files to keep my jump rings in. So as I'm sat here at my desk, all I need to do when I am doing my jewellery on my desk, I just literally come to this guy here and pull out these trays. So, I mean, look at all of these guys here. Lots and lots and lots of beads that I've got put in here. You get 4 lovely drawers. Look at that, all nicely organised. So when you're sat in your craft room or wherever it is that you do your beading or, you know, your crafts and things like that, you can literally just keep this. I have all sorts of things in here, crystals, these cute little beads, and you get, I think it's 120 of these files, so I will just double check. And everything will be in the description box, including a link, which I will give to you is Sam10 is my link, which gets you a lovely 10% off when you purchase one of these guys. So I will put all of the links and everything in the description box. I mean, look, you even get this little thingy so you can put it in the top of the files and pour your beads in, which is a really, really good idea. And I like the fact it's got these little sections up here, because when you're working with your beads or your jump rings or anything that you want to keep in here, you can just literally store them in the top there like that. And then when you're ready to use them, take them out, you know, use them on your table, put them back, and when you're ready and you're finished, literally just store them away in the drawers like so. Isn't that beautiful? So take a look in the description box for this guy. I really, really, really love it. And so thank you, ARTDOT, for partnering with me again this time. It's been wonderful. And let's get on with the tutorial. And we are back. So let's go ahead and make these guys here. So my best advice, again, like with most things that I do, is to do like a production line, if you will. So, you know, make quite a few all at once. And you're going to need to take your 1.25 millimeter wire, which is 16 gauge, flush cut the end. And each one of these little guys, let's just measure them for you, measures, should I say, let's have a look, just short of 2 centimeters. So I'm going to say 19 millimeters, which is approximately 3/4 of an inch, give or take. But I will say that I am using centimeters and millimeters. I'm using metric today because some of the measurements I'm going to give you are pretty specific. Okay, so 4 centimeters of wire. So for those of you who use inches, please feel free to go and have a look at the equivalents on your favorite search engine. Okay, so we have our 4 centimeter piece of wire. So you're going to have to come in with a Sharpie and do a little bit of marking here, because we're going to be doing a bit of bending specific. All right, so take your wire, hold it at the end of your ruler and mark 6 millimeters. All right, so hope I can do this without getting my head in front of the camera. So 6 millimeters from each end, and mark it with a Sharpie like so. So go ahead and do a few of those. All right, so we'll just come and do this one here. Let's just take one. There we go. The next thing we need to do is to come in with our 6-step bell making pliers. Now, like I said, mine are 2 to 9 increments. The bending of these are quite specific to meet the flush cut edges in the middle, and I've spent a bit of time working out, you know, how long these pieces have to be. So, you know, when you've seen me demonstrate this, obviously you go ahead and play around with the lengths of wire that you've got, that kind of thing. So I'm using the second step, which is a 3 millimeter mandrel. All right, so I place my mandrel where the little measured dot is. So if you remember that we marked with the Sharpie the little spot here. Okay, we want to be bending around the second step. So the first thing we do is to bend around nice and neatly, like so. Okay, so we have this sort of like, I don't know, looks like a candy cane actually, doesn't it? So we have that sort of thing. The next thing we need to do is to pop our pliers back on the wire here where the other little mark is. And I'm hoping that if I've done this correctly, that when we bend this round, it should meet flush with this guy here. So let's keep our fingers crossed, keep them crossed, keep them crossed. There we go. So it's just, this is where your pliers come in. Give that a little bit of a wiggle. And I'm hoping that if I've measured it correctly, there we go. It should literally join together with two nice flush cut edges, and it does. That's good. So just give things a little bit of a wiggle round, like so. And can you see now how that has very beautifully, thank you very much, the gods of recording videos for YouTube. They've smiled quite nicely on me today. They don't often. So if you've measured things correctly and everything's in the right order, you should find that those two flush cut edges are completely flush and neat, and there's no rough edges, etc. So you just want to, you know, go ahead and make a few of those in your chosen colour of wire. So I've made this one with the silvers, as you can see here, or, you know, just use them for just a simple bracelet, which I think would be great for a gentleman. All right, so make those and we'll come back in a second and I'll show you what to do with the beads. Have fun. Right, so we're back. So I'm going to be introducing some beads into the equation now. So there are two different ways of doing this. To attach these Matubo beads to just one side is relatively easy, and I'll show you how to put the beads on both sides, because there's a slightly different way of doing it. So thank you to my friends at ARTDOT. I have these, excuse me, these little files to keep all my little beads in. They're brilliant. So have a look in the description box, guys. Don't forget you get 10% off, which is pretty good these days, I think. For a relatively affordable item, 10% is actually quite a decent amount of money off. So what we need to do is to bring in our pliers. So here I'm going to be using my flat nose just because I like them and it's easier to open this guy up. So open up like a barn door, like so. All right, so you've got this kind of thing going on. So what I do is put two beads on either side. This can be slightly fiddly. If you've got any dexterity issues, you know, it might be a little fiddly for you. I do have arthritis in my pointers and my thumbs. So for me, you know, it's getting to that point where little fiddly things are becoming fiddly. But persevere because it's worth it, I think. So pop two beads on either short side, as you can see there. And then, like I've done with this one, I've put 5 Matubo beads on. So you can just play around with the beads that you've got and work out what fits and what doesn't. I can fit 5 Matubos on here. So using your fingers as tools, you bend the wire back into shape and then come in with your little chain nose or whichever ones you're using. And then if you just sort of have a look, like the join will hide underneath this central bead here on the Matubo, certainly. All right, so that's this style here. I quite like, you know, things that aren't quite, you know, that are a little bit more quirky. So if you've got a bare side and a beaded side, I think that looks quite pretty myself. But again, it's up to you. You use these guys for all sorts of different things. But that's how you attach the beads, the Matubos certainly, or the 6-0s onto one side. All right. So let's come and have a look at how we make these double guys here. So you just make them slightly differently. I'll just put these away so they're not going everywhere, which usually happens to me. So I'm going to come in with my pearl 5/0s. These are a little bit bigger. And I'm going to make this guy again. So you come in with your 4mm stretch of wire with your 4cm stretch of wire with your 6mm marks on. Again, come in with your plier and bend it round like so. There we go. So that's good. So at this point here is when you put your beads on. All right, so again, not too fiddly, just a little. So you've got your beads on one side. All right, hope you can see that. I'll just move all this out of the way. Move that out of the way as well so we can focus. And then we want to come in with our plier again, making sure that the beads don't drop off, obviously, which has happened to me, you can imagine, quite a few times. So again, put your mandrel on the little mark and pray that everything meets up, which it does. I love it when things work. Lovely. And just straighten that up a little bit. All right, so as you can see here, we've now got beads on the non-joined side, and the joined side here needs to be opened up again like a barn door, like so. And then we come in with our 1 bead and then 2 beads, and then on the other side 1 bead and 2 beads. All right, and then hopefully you can use your tools, use your fingers, that kind of thing, and bend things back into shape like so. Now, because you're using 16 gauge, obviously it's relatively secure, relatively hard wearing. If you wanted to get a little bit more stability, you could indeed come in with a rawhide hammer or a nylon hammer and just give things a little bit of a bash first, so that you feel satisfied that things are okay. So there we go, that's our little beaded unit. How lovely is that? So you could, do anything you like, really. The world's your oyster with these guys. So obviously I have here used 2 jump rings to join each of them together, like so. And my jump rings, I'm using 4mm made with 1mm copper wire. So I'll just very quickly show you. Dead simple. And if you want to have a look at how to make your own jump rings without all of the fancy equipment, I will put a link up here somewhere. I did a little bit of a non-talking musical video, which was fun to make. It was just an experiment just to see how you guys would respond to it. And you guys, obviously, you didn't like it very much because it didn't do very well, which is fine. Absolutely fine by me. It just shows me and tells me that you guys listening to me ramble. You like listening to me bimble on and natter and witter and all of those lovely adjectives. So just pop your 2 or 1 or however many you like jump rings through the little links. Make everything nice and tidy and neat. You know what I'm like, I do like my neat and tidy. There you go. So, how cute are those? You could use those for earring links and dangle, a nice briolette off the bottom of here. Anything you like. All right, so have fun with those. This guy I've made with the little sort of bent spikes, which looks absolutely beautiful around the neckline. If you'd like to see a full tutorial for this guy here, which I made for myself, let me know in the comments and we'll go through a full tutorial of that if you want. If it's too boring for you, let me know. Like I say, I'm not an expert. I've just faffed with wire and beads and fabrics and all sorts of other little things because I do like to faff with things. Have a good week, and I will see you in my next video. And hopefully our lives will calm down a little bit, and we'll obviously reach for the happiness and the beauty in life. It's lovely to have you here, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching, guys.